what I just played was just a Rickenbacker straight into an old Vox tube amp, set relatively clean. And it has flat wound strings on it. And it's a pretty common way to get that classic 60s electric folk chime and jangle, a Rick with flat wounds into a Vox tube amp. And this demo actually isn't about really Rickenbackers or tube amps or pedals even. It's about the strings that were on that Rickenbacker. And these are Thomas Vinci 3010 SL 10 through 38 light gauge flat wound strings. And these are a brand new product on the market. These are the only light gauge flat wound strings. And they were made per request of Acid Fuzz. And, I've been using Vinci strings forever. And I came to use Vinci after a long battle of trying, coated strings, $60 pyramid Tomastic infill to the most bargain basement, $1.99 plain steel strings. And Vinci seems to have the best tone to my ear and the most longevity for the price. I love them. I use them on all my guitars. I recommend them to people all the time. And the shame is that when I mention Vinci, a lot of people don't even know this company exists. However, like Rickenbacker, they've been around forever. Thomas Vinci actually invented the machinery that nearly every string manufacturer uses to this day. But for some reason, they're not as well known. So I wanted to just let people know that these strings and this company exists. And this particular set is actually kind of a funny story. It's one of those weird synchronous things where I think the universe just lets you know you're onto something. I don't know how that works, but last year, Tyler Fogarty came by the shop with a couple of Vox Starstream guitars. And he just wanted me to fix the onboard effects. But he mentioned he had already bought the lightest gauge flat wound strings that he could find on the market. And they were still really heavy and kind of a bear to play. And I was like, well, it's funny you mentioned that, because just last week I had emailed Vinci and expressed to him my frustration with there being no light gauge flat wounds. And I had these custom made, and here they are. They're the 3010 SL. And they're in the 10 through 38, which is the Hendrix gauge, in round wound. It's the old Fender light gauge. Some people might know. And, Hendrix used those tuned down a half step. And you could get that extreme bending and whatnot. But I like these just tuned normal on a Rickenbacker because it allows you to get those same really lush, mellow Rickenbacker with flat wound tones. But you can also bend a lot more and really rock out. And, I know a lot of people rocked Rickenbackers, the Beatles, the Byrds. I mean, even Tyler's dad, John Fogerty, rocked the Woodstock Festival with just a Rickenbacker into an amp. So you can rock out, but you're typically not able to really bend a lot. I mean, you've got to be a mega badass if you're going to bend notes more than like a whole step on a Rickenbacker with even the previously lightest gauge flat wound set before these. Like, they're just a bear to play. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in our Acid Fuzz Yellow Sunshine booster just to drive this old Vox amp into, some dirt. And we'll check these out and see what they can do. so much easier to bend with these strings, the Vinci 3010 SL. And these are the only light gauge flat wound set on the market. And you know, if you love flat wounds for whatever reason, rock or jazz, and you want a lighter gauge that's easier to bend, but also has amazing tone, I would highly recommend checking these out. If you're already getting a pedal from us, we are a dealer for Vinci. I don't work for Vinci, but we sell these for the same price as you can get them directly from Thomas Vinci. And they're in our shop page at acidfuzz.com, or you can get them from, I believe it's thomasvincistrings.com. I'll put the URLs up, so anyone wants to check these out. They are available now, and I can't recommend them highly enough. They're great.